Hey traders, hello, welcome. Alex is here with the Crypto Lab, featured by Trading Analysis. So as usual, we are going to just give a little bit of light here. As usual, we're going to look a little bit of macro environment because
Hey traders, hello,
there is
welcome. Alex is here with the Crypto Lab,
double
featured by Trading Analysis. So, Crypto Lab, as usual, we are going to
just give me a sec,
give a
guys.
little bit light here.
Yeah, okay, now it's fine. Okay, so let's look what's going on with the Fed rates, because after the Fed minutes, which was a pretty dovish, but the Fed minutes was published when we didn't have additional data either from PMI and CPI and also jobs report, which we again have next week. We also have today not much but elevated European inflation data, which will still, I think, put the case that we are not out, at least for the market participants, which are trying to figure out where the Fed and ECB will go. We know for ECB they have to hike more, but this is just another additional evidence that this phrase sticky, as they use it for inflation, it's potentially appropriate. So let's start. We're going to do a presentation on a little bit of macro. We're going to look Bitcoin and Ether, and then we're going to switch to look your comments and also to do some charts that you have for us. So let me start. Let's see what's going on the CME Fed tool, we are going to look for the 22nd of March. We're going to have jobs data next week, and we're also going to have a CPI on 14th of March, which is going to give us another insight what is going on with inflation. We had the last number lower, although not as expected, but a couple of other parameters was for a touch or a bit higher, which actually put markets to start to wobble for this 7.755% as a potential neutral or a target rate for Fed. And now market anticipates a couple of more rate hikes, which also additionally, I will not say shake up, we didn't see that, but additionally kind of made a pause in investors' minds how much Fed can go further until the end of 2023. So for 22nd of March, of course, we're going to see new data coming next week, jobs report, and the week after, it's going to be CPI. 69.4%, we're going to go 25 basis points. And as you can see, the evolution 1 month before, this was an 82.7 probability. So we went week ago 73%, then we had 1 day ago 70, and now 69.4. So obviously there is time, 20 days more to 22nd of March, but obviously, as you can see, the percentages in favor of 50 rate hikes, 50 basis point rate hikes are growing. Also, we had two members, famous Bullard, which is always his kind of one opinionated guy, and also a Cleveland Fed chair, was for a 50 basis move on the upside. But minutes showed that even if it was before this incoming data, a lot of, I would say, dovishness about when they stop and make a pause. So still it's a question where the Fed is going to stop. I think it's going to be data dependent. And for the 3rd of May, we have also 25 basis points now at 64, which is also dropping. And we have a 33.1%. We're going to go higher from that. So it's still going to be a couple of weeks until we see data back and forth with stocks, which is going to affect cryptos, but our wave counts are working for now for lower levels. and I'm going to show you that. I just want to show you this, what's going on in Europe, which kind of spilled over today on the open in the US. So CPI, this is year on year. It went up from 5.3 to 5.6. We have also CPI year on year February. We have 8.2 to 8.5, and also we have core CPI. Sorry, core CPI was 5.3 to 5.6, and overall CPI was core is X or without food and energy. And then we have a core at 8.5, and 8.2 was something which was forecasted. So previously we were at 8.6. So the forecast, I mean, it is lower than before, but as in the case with the US CPI, which was 6.5 and forecast was at 6.2, we came at 6.4. So it's similar case, it's higher number because inflation in Europe is higher, but the same thing happened. We had previous 8.6, we came, forecast was at 8.2, we came 8.5, and on the core 5.3, forecast was equal 5.3, and then we came to 5.6. So obviously still kind of a flooring of inflation moving lower for now. But if you look, a majority of commodities are still moving lower or sideways. So I think next CPI might be better and might relieve some of these worries. So we will see about that. We still have some months to it. I just want to show you also, this is the a forward or a futures curve showing 1 month, 3 months, 6 months Euribor from the April, from current levels. So it is predicting actually that the European rate will go to 3.964%, and then they're going to stay a couple of months there, and they're going to start potentially to move lower towards 2024 and onwards 2026, 27, for now settling below 3%. Okay, so that is what is market is anticipating now on the European front. So similar situation now, so we're gonna see a couple of more rate hikes on the European front. So let me just go over the couple of charts. Of course, we are looking dollar here. We did look for a move higher in dollar because of the rates moving higher and a couple of other reasons. So I still think this will turn into something more complex. This is not going to be one shot ABC or a simple correction affair. And I'm still going to observe that. And also we have a European, just to back up the story, we have European rates still moving on the upside, but they're kind of aligned. When we get around 4.2%, we're going to go in a correction, as we are seeing it above 5% in the US and then moving lower. So they kind of agrees on our outlook. We might need a little bit more time this to unfold. That's the only difference. Total crypto market cap is moving lower. We have seen 5 waves up from these lows. I'm still not gonna, I've been asked about a couple of possibilities. Is this a flat and then we go down to a new low? I'm not going to pursue that until we break some of the very key levels around 900 billion. So I still don't think it is time to look additional options, because I think we are in the ABC pullback and the C wave still needs to start, and similar wave count is on Bitcoin. Okay, because Bitcoin still has one of the largest market caps out there. So if we switch to a Bitcoin chart and look what's going on, so we had this wave count last time under the loop, and this is something which we still track for the pullback lower in this potential wave 2. So 5 waves up has been completed. We had 2 targets. Wave 3 was pretty sizable on the upside, above 200 fib ratio. So we can also throw 5 versus 1 here. Maybe they're equal, and exactly they're equal. So something that you're going to see very often, and we can talk about this similarity. When you have a wave 3, which is around 200 or 1618, target reached. So that's one of the most common extensions in the third wave. Wave 5 and wave 1 will be equal, and as you can see here, 5 versus 1, we exactly came to equality. Okay, so this like here, this is one of the striking things, and it happens over and over. So this like here, in the beginning of this uptrend on the upside, is identical almost to the pips to this like here, where you see equality written. Okay, so after a 5-wave move, we usually look for some type of a 3-wave pullback. This pullback goes statistically in most cases back to 50 or 618%. Less rarely it comes to 38.2 and also 78.6. Okay, so among these levels, I will be looking to anchor this wave 2. What form this wave 2 will take, we still don't know. It can be complex. So looking at the dollar, we can be some type of ABC for W, X, Y, or we can go, maybe we still didn't finish this potential leading diagonal in A, which will complicate things a bit because we might have 1, 2, 3, 4 with the overlap, and then wave 5, which will give this a structure, a required pattern, which we called as a diagonal, because the wave 4 overlapped the wave 1. So some form. Usually you can know that when you have the first part of it, which might be a wave A, or it might be W, which smells and actually marks this as an ABC. This will be some type of an X, and we can even go triangle or up or whatever. There is a couple of forms. We can see X actually fulfilling, and then we're going to move down towards this level. So this is still our very much followed scenario, and actually we are still working under this wave count, which for now has shown resilience to track the possible developments pretty nicely. Okay, so overall, that wave 2 or B should give us some type of a timeline where it can happen. So this timeline says it's going to be between let's say 15th March and 20th of April. So it doesn't have to be correct, but this is just a kind of a vague notion, because this wave 2 sometimes can expand in time, sometimes can be very fast. So we are going to see, okay? But we are going to stay bullish on it, because after these 5 waves, of course, we're going to observe very carefully these levels here. And if we see an impulsive developments and a pullback, that will create either ABC on the upside, or it's going to create 1, 2, up in 3, 4, or 5. The rates move lower, and then we go to a new high. So that's one of the scenario. We have a couple of them, but for now, looking for the rates to start pausing after March, April, and maybe go through 2024, even beginning of 2025. We see a potential window for the risk assets to rally, and among these risk assets, which is correlated with the stock exchange and Nasdaq and SMH, are definitely cryptos. So let's also see Ether. What's going on there? I think it's kind of following our path to lower levels. We are still looking this to be rather bullish. We have discussed with the members the soon release of the staked ETHs. It's a significant amount, so we will see what will happen. But for now, our wave count work nicely, and I'm going to work for 1,450 or in that area, a potential move in a wave 2 as a support, and then developments in the higher degree wave 3. So in this case, if we stay on a bullish side, 1 2 1 2, so potentially Ether is much more prepped to go higher. And as I pointed out every time, our Ethereum Bitcoin chart shows that there is a big probability from these levels that Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. I don't think the Bitcoin and Ether will outperform each other when they're going lower. Okay, so this outperformance can happen in any direction, but on this note, I will stay bullish Ether, of course, as long as we respect the main rules of the methodology, and of course, if we see the pattern that we are kind of proposing here, at least to these levels, holds. So there is 200 moving average. There is also 200 moving average on weekly. Most likely, whatever is happening, it's going to bounce. But I'm not looking just for a bounce. I'm looking for a break of this volatility pattern. Volatility in a sense that you see that here this has been a very big expansion of selling, and then we got smaller and smaller, and while the FTX collapse put many cryptos even out of the game, and even Bitcoin relatively more lower than Ether, this one Ether hold well, so we are still staying relatively bullish. 200 moving average on weekly comes here, and a break of this very now pressuring volatility pattern might be a breakout on the upside. It might as well be breakout on the downside, but at least we know where we are wrong, and that will be our levels for potentially trying to do something with our members on a couple of fronts. So I have showed you Ethereum Bitcoin as well. Matic is also correcting. We have been looking Matic to do this. We are still looking for some type of an ABC pullback. We're still going to stay. Ethic is a little bit more advanced. We still think we are in some type of a bullish pattern developing, like in Ether, and in a more ripe stages for moving upside than Bitcoin. So we're going to stay and watch on this, but we didn't change much of our analysis from the last week, because for now we have this actually unfolding. So we are just basically tracking what's going on there. Okay, so so if there is any questions for the Bitcoin and Ether, please let me know in the comment box. I will just show you quickly how do we look S&P. So we in alliance. So let me just go with Nasdaq because it's correlated with crypto. So we are still having our doubts and two wave counts. So this one is bullish, and this one we usually always have one bullish and one bearish wave count. But if this starts to move further lower, of course, it's going to cause also cryptos to go at least for some amount down. So we are watching from all fronts what's going on and try to frame this macro picture with our wave counts to reflect the possible reality as much as we can be objective. So if there is any questions for Bitcoin and Ether, let me just look your comments and see what is shaking. So Felix says things looking up. You mean going higher or lower? I don't know what do you mean, Felix. Hello William, how are you? Hi Schnitzel. Alex, please chart cake. Yeah, I didn't look cake for a long time, so let's chart cake. Let's see what it's doing. I don't have a cake on my feeds, but I will use a trading view for that. Let me just look the name. Oh, sorry, the name cake. Sorry. And let me glare these charts. Let's see which one we should take. Let's take Binance. Whoa, cake is lower. So yeah, I don't see any signs here for reversal yet. Smaller time frame. I mean, this might be some type of a 5-wave move. 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5, and then a flat. It's possible, but I never like to put labels when we are still in this type of situation where we are kind of a, I mean, you can always put 1, 2, 1, 2 here, but I think it's not necessary. Okay, so this one is still doesn't show for now. I want to see it out of this channel, and then we can discuss probability of reaching this target. For now, this is not the case. It's just moving lower, as you can see, where this trend is going to be over. So 1, 2, down in 3, 4, 5. Maybe it is already, but we will see. Okay. Let me look a couple of other questions. Do you think we need Fed to cut rates before we see BTC? I don't think that we need Fed to cut rates. I just think that we need to see Fed stopping raising rates. Okay. That's how it begins, you know. Every uptrend, if it starts, it's going to start slowly, then accelerating. So it's not going to be a one-shoot scenario, like Bitcoin will go to 60K in half a day. So I don't think this will happen this time. Binance, I think Binance is still in some type of a consolidation. Binance coin, it's still, I think, yeah, we are still looking this in some type of, it's either a triangle, as I look at it. So it's big sideways consolidation, as you can see. So it might be very well some type of triangulation. So we go down in A, up in B, down in C, but the C, so A, B, C, D, and E. So basically we have also a volatility pattern which is becoming smaller and smaller, announcing explosion into one direction. That's usually what happens. So the wave A was pretty big here if we want to consider this as a triangle. So A, 3 waves up in B, 3 waves down in C. We might get something complex in D and E, and then the triangle will be over. Let me just pick rightful letters here. So this will be an A, B, C, maybe a little bit more upside, D and E, and then we go higher. Okay. So for now, I'm still gonna look this as a sideways price action. I don't see for now any signs. This might be some type of a 1-2, or this can be a wave D. We are waiting for E to finish. You never know when these damn things are gonna end. So in that respect, any 5 waves up surpassing this previous B wave, which is actually invalidating the triangle, will be very welcomed for the bullish outlook. Okay. Let me see a couple of more comments. Hi Alex, please check for Matic. We did. Hey Alex, can you look over Binance, BNB? We did. Oleg, thank you very much. Stay good, in a good health for you as well. Though I think LDO still has momentum. Let's see. Yeah, for now, it's obvious it has. So we have an overlap here. So this is either 1-2, 1-2, and this goes who knows where on the upside. But also this can be still some type of a leading diagonal. We go with a small pullback and then we go higher. Okay. So first 5 waves are done, ABC is done, and then we have only 3 waves, up, down, and now we are making most likely the 5th one. So this is either 1, 2, 1, 2, and there is a degree violation, so I don't think it's 1, 2, 1, 2. I will rather look at this as a diagonal. It will be a wave 1, 2, up in 3, 4 with the overlap, and then 5 small pullback, and then whoosh. This might maybe even continue higher towards this level, at least 21.94. So I don't have much more to show you guys. This leans on our last crypto lab where we looked for a correction. This correction is just playing out, and I think it's not gonna end. Maybe we're gonna need a few more weeks for that. Definitely look next week for the jobs report and also for the CPI. We will make one crypto lab before that. I think this is going to be very important for either cryptos or stock markets or on asset classes who are sensitive to that story. So thank you very much for the attention, and see you guys next week. So click the like button, subscribe if you like, to help us our content reach bigger audience, and we will be grateful if you do that for us. So thank you guys, see you next week. Bye bye.